Jesus freak here. Now this is going to need to be said. You have a lot of these types out there. Whether it be, so-called apostles like Greg Locke, who, according to scriptural dictum, shouldn't have a place behind the pulpit because he has no self-control. But you have these people who believe that if you claim to be carrying the cross of Christ, you should be politically far right. And of course, these people get mad at people like me who are politically center-left. At least by American standards. There's this meme that, everyone on the left is either anti-theist or Muslim. First of all, a lot of Muslims are far right too. Yes, you find people who are on the left and back Muslims simply out of hatred for Christianity and Christians. I consider them lunatic whack jobs. My politics is informed basically by two tenets. The first is religion and government don't really mix very well. You can have your government informed by religion, but when it's controlled by religion, then you got trouble. And you'll find, a lot of people back when the U.S. was founded were saying that James Madison, in a letter when he was talking about the First Amendment, yes, that First Amendment, said that God and government, religion and government work best, and I'm not saying exactly his words. Religion and government work best the less they're mixed together. And that's a tenet I hold to. Don't forget, a lot of Christian groups out there consider every other Christian group heretical. I get a lot of flack for being a Methodist. I used to have a Catholic hate watching me. The only reason I finally blocked him was because he pulled that waste oxygen stuff on me. Which leads into my other tenet. There's a common idea on the right. And I'm not going to say it's universal. I don't think it is. But it's common. And it's that nobody is less fortunate. That the only reason someone can't hack it is because of a moral failing, such as usually laziness. My experience is that that's not true. Some of us can't hack it because of things outside of our control. someone on the political left is more likely to believe that, we should, that people shouldn't have to fall through the cracks. Maybe even if a few people who shouldn't get help do. Where people on the right are like, I'd rather have people fall through the cracks than have people who don't deserve to be helped get it. And like I said, this is an oversimplification, but you see it a lot. This is that mindset you see. One-sided rather err on the side of doing more good for people, where others rather err on the side of caution and, But someone like me who's kind of borderline, and I don't mean that in the mental disorder sense. I mean that in the sense of I'm not exactly what most people think of as disabled, and I don't really consider myself disabled. I think that's too strong a word for my situation. But that I do have disabilities. I'm the type of person who a conservative might think of as just lazy. Oh, you just got anxiety or backaches. But it's like, some people, every time they try to stand on their own 2 feet, someone's behind them with a metal pipe and whacks them behind the knees. One of my sayings that I keep saying to myself, however bad I have things, there's always at least one person who has it worse. And there's probably many such people. But if you look at some of the people nowadays that call themselves Christian and call themselves conservative, you give them, like the Sermon on the Mount, they'll either say, "Wrong dispensation, you idiot!" or, "Woke! Woke!" Like, do you even? Pro tip, dispensationalism as I see it, this whole 7 ages and this part of the Bible only applies to this time period and nothing before Acts matters to the current church kind of stuff. That's not rightly dividing Scripture, that's wrongly dividing it. Rightly dividing doesn't mean you cut the universe into 7 pieces and say, hey, only this piece applies to us. In some sense or another, all of it applies to all people. You just have to figure out, obviously something that's talking about Kohanim can't apply to modern Christians. But you know what I mean. had never even heard of some of this dispensationalist mumbo jumbo until I was well into my 20s. Before that, I had always heard the perspective that I have now. That all of time points to one moment, and that's the crucifixion. And that God, being the same yesterday, today, and forever, doesn't change how he deals with stuff any more than, a parent changes the way they deal with their children. And I mean, that's a metaphor Paul himself used. All this to say, my politics are informed by my faith, just not in the way that you'd think they are. But I do videos. Sometimes I take sort of a documentarian role at left-wing rallies. I get flack for it. I stand against Christian nationalism. I stand against imperialism. And frankly, I stand against a lot of right-wing politics. And I think it's sick when churches try to mingle right-wing politics with their faith. Can you be Christian conservative at the same time? Absolutely. But to damn people to hell for being left of center? Yes, some of these types do that. They'll say, oh, you vote for Democrats. That means you're a virgin-killing Satanist. What? So because I disagree with the Republicans enough that I vote for Democrats instead means I support every single thing that Democrats do? I have no problem calling them out when they do stuff I don't agree with. We're not a Borg mind. I mean, I'm not a Democrat, but I guess, a lot of people who are part of a right-wing Borg mind, which I must reiterate, right-wing and right-wing Borg mind are not the same thing. Not every Republican is MAGA. It sure seems that way, but you'll find more moderate Republicans out there. Some of them have been switching to Democrat simply because MAGA's given their party a black eye. Looking at Joe Walsh, not the musician. But to say that because I'm not part of that Borg mind must mean I'm part of that Borg mind. Like, I think some people are just so deep into the idea of the Borg mind they belong to. Remember, I'm not talking universally. They're so used to being part of the Borg mind on their side that they can't conceptualize the other side as being anything else. Then they see me. Someone who's politically left of center and yet very traditional minded Christian. Someone who is one of the have nots. Someone who does deal with disabilities, mental illness, physical disabilities. And they have to face a cognitive dissonance. Here's someone who doesn't exactly fit my definition. Someone who doesn't fit either in my square hole or my triangular hole. And I want to try to ram this peg into one of those holes, but I can't get it to fit. But maybe that's the point. Someone who's not the norm is out there open about myself. Jesus, freak out.